Xiao Nan died tragically and then Isekai-ed to the 21st continent. Although reborn as useless trash, he awakened the reverse system, and his strength would increase as long as he was hurt. What he didn't know was that he had a hidden identity as the chosen son of heaven who was prophesized to revitalize the Sword Sect. The elders of all factions in the sect therefore hid their identities and approached Xiao Nan to try to recruit him into their own ranks. Since then, Xiao Nan began to enjoy being nurtured by beautiful female masters, whilst discovering features of the system to become stronger plus start a harem. In the beginning of the story it is told, heaven and earth are founded on the 5 elements. All things are born from chi and spirit. The 21 states, a world where people cultivate using the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. 3,000 great Daos, sects are as numerous as the stars, scattered across the land. For thousands of years, only the Northern Sword Sect has stood above all, reigning supreme. Then we see a big liberation, and the name of this place is Jade White Plaza of the Sword Sect. And a lot of people gather at this place. And we see a boy who is the protagonist of this story, and he was putting his spiritual energy inside the idol and he is thinking, what's going on? Lately, I've clearly stored up a lot of spiritual energy while cultivating, so why can't I use any of it now? My body feels completely empty. As if someone has drained me dry. And an elder says, Xiao Nan of Namli City in the Northern Territory, Chi Stage 3. And some people talk, so it's true what they say about Xiao 3 stage he'll never break through to Chi Stage 4. Ha! Otherwise, why would Nayland Guer have annulled their engagement? He's just a useless waste. Then we see some pick masters on a mountain top. And one of them says a pick master surnamed Xiao? And the other pick master says, Chi Stage 3. I heard his parents vanished long ago, possibly dead, so even in the Xiao family, he's not well regarded. Then how did he get into the Sword Sect? Who knows? Maybe the Xiao family just sent him to make up the numbers. Shunned by the world. And we see a beautiful pick master, and she is Grand Elder of the Sword Sect, Peak Master of Hongchen Pq Bingyun. And she says, I searched high and low, but it turns out it came effortlessly to me. 4th Elder of the Sword Sect, Peak Master of Talisman Peak Mo Li. And she says, the fated one from Grand Master Su's unreliable prophecy, 3rd Elder of the Sword Sect, Peak Master of Medicine Peak Jin Shio. And she says, it has appeared. And the one who has the sword in his hands is the 2nd Elder of the Sword Sect, Peak Master of Sword Peak Shan Wuyen. And Jin Shio says, Senior Sister, once the sect protection formation is activated, no one can stop it. That Xiao brat will likely be drained dry. So Yu Bingyun says the Grand Master's prophecies never fail, and this was Grand Master Su's last prophecy before his ascension. Now that this person has appeared, we have no reason to let him go. Activate the sect protection formation. And all 4 of them activate the formation. And we see that a massive light falls on the statue from the sky and Xiao Nan is shocked to see this and he thinks, such massive lightning. If I get struck, I'll be nothing but charred. And then a massive light enters Xiao Nan's forehead, and he starts feeling a lot of pain, and he does not understand anything. What is happening to him? And he reaches another place and he thinks, am I dead? But he is still alive. And we see that he kneels down in front of the statue, and a different kind of energy starts going into his body. And seeing this, some people are very shocked and they ask the elder, is Xiao Nan dead? So the elder tells them, sigh, even the strongest experts struggle to escape unscathed from the sect protection formation, let alone someone at mere Chi Stage 3. But then Xiao Nan starts shouting and he is not able to understand what has just happened to him. Then he sits down, and seeing Xiao Nan, everyone gets scared and starts running away. They feel that Xiao Nan is a zombie. And seeing them scared and running away from here, Xiao Nan gets a little confused. Then we see Yu Bingyun and she is looking at Xiao Nan and she says, not a single scratch. He really is the fated one from the prophecy. As the eldest senior sister, I must follow the Grand Master's teachings and guide him well. None of you better try to steal him from me, got it? And Emoli says, Senior Sister, he is the future pillar of our sword sect. Everyone has a chance. Why does he have to be yours? And Jin Shio says, wait, as the Medicine Peak Elder, I don't have a direct disciple yet. Alchemy is the foundation of our sword sect. When we say pillar, we mean the pill Tao. After all, a pillar is just a pill furnace, right? Xiao Nan should come to Medicine Peak. And all three of them want to take Xiao Nan in their pick. But then there is an attack on all three of them, and they all retreat. And we see an ice sword, and the one who attacked them was Shan Wuyen. And Shan Wuyen takes her sword back and she says to all three of them, I will have him join Sword Peak and train under me in the Sword Codex. And Emily says, second senior sister, are you planning to take him by force? Then I won't hold back either. So Shan Wuyen says otherwise. Let's test it out. And Jin Xiu thinks, although the second senior sister is strong, senior sister definitely won't sit idly by. If senior sister and fourth senior sister team up, it won't be impossible to fight back. At that point, I could just sit back and reap the benefits. Then Yu Bingyan says, alright, let's not fight over this. Why don't we disguise ourselves and approach Xiao Nan secretly? Then let him choose where he wants to go. What do you all think? And Jin Xiu says, that's a great idea, senior sister. You're so smart. And Emily also agrees to this. And Jin Xiu says to Shan Wuyen, second senior sister, what do you think? And Shan Wuyen also agrees to this, and she quickly leaves from here. Night time, Jian Sect newly initiated disciples' cave dwelling. Xiao Nan is sitting comfortably, taking a bath in lukewarm water and resting. And he remembers what an elder told him, this is really some great dog shit luck. The sect protecting Grand Array must have malfunctioned a bit. That's the only way your sorry ass survived. And Xiao Nan thinks you're the dog shit, your whole family is dog shit. I've transmigrated for fuck's sake. Even if that sect protecting Grand Array is powerful, it shouldn't make me exit the stage as soon as I enter. Missing dad, vanished mom, a fiancé who broke off the engagement and his broken self. And this fucking useless body. No matter how much spiritual energy I absorb, it all dissipates the next day. My cultivation is forever stuck at the third stage of spiritual energy. The cliché is already this bad, so at least the ring, as my only heirloom, should have something special about it, right? Like activating a cheat or something, but it turns out to be a worthless piece of junk. Might as well throw it away. And as soon as Xiao Nan takes out the ring, the system gets activated, and the system tells Xiao Nan, detected that the host soul does not belong to the current world. Warning, warning! Curse in progress, cultivation status, cause and effect reversed. Warning, the host is requested to leave the current world. And Xiao Nan thinks, a system? My cheat is finally here? And the system says, cultivation curse effect activated. Status reversal. Cultivating, spiritual energy -1, cultivating, spiritual energy -1, cultivating, spiritual energy 1. And Xiao Nan is shocked and he thinks, good news, the system is here. Bad news, I wish it wasn't. So the reason I haven't been able to cultivate is all thanks to this fucking curse system? The more I cultivate, the more trash I become? Then what's the point of cultivating? Might as well lie flat. And then somebody opens the door and starts coming in. And Xiao Nan thinks, what's that sound? A thief? His nice legs. Who's this woman? What's she doing in my room in the middle of the night? And Yu Bingyun goes close to Xiao Nan and she says, this kid will be perfect to test my grand technique. And Xiao Nan is shocked and he thinks, what grand technique? Could she be a flower-plucking thief who's mastered some kind of essence-draining art? Could it be that she noticed this fresh meat during the daytime ceremony? And now she's planning to force herself on me while it's dark and quiet? And Yu Bingyun thinks, a few years ago, I happened to acquire a dream-entering spell. As long as the caster's mental power is strong enough, they can weaken the target's mind and subtly manipulate their thoughts. In this way, this child of destiny will become a disciple of the Red Dust Peak, and I can ride his coattails the top. Strange, why isn't there any reaction? I was all prepared. A real man must know how to adapt to the situation, endure what others cannot. A little essence draining is nothing. Obscuring trace illusion dream, and Xiao Nan thinks, is this essence draining technique that fierce? This chick is trying to kill me. And then the system tells Xiao Nan, received mental damage, spirit +1. Received serious mental damage, spirit +3. Received extremely severe mental damage, spirit +5. And seeing this, Xiao Nan gets surprised and he says, HM? Wait a minute? After receiving extremely severe damage, does my spirit stat actually increase? This system has a bug. With the help of this bug system, this wolf-like essence draining technique seems pretty beneficial to me. Oh ho ho ho, these system benefits are pretty good. Come on. Let the storm rage even harder. And then Yu Bingyun notices something and she thinks, wait, why does it feel like my spiritual energy is a bit out of control? Could it be that I'm using the spell incorrectly? And Xiao Nan puts his face between Yu Bingyun's boobs and he thinks, here it comes the legendary dual cultivation. Virgin until now, this sturdy and pure body is finally going to. And Xiao Nan takes his lips close to Yu Bingyun's lips to kiss her, and Yu Bingyun thinks, actually, this kid looks not bad. But she controls herself and slaps Xiao Nan hard. And after slapping him, Yu Bingyun thinks, what's going on? This kid is actually turning the tables and starting to suck out my spiritual energy. Luckily, I came to my senses in time. Otherwise, I would have been completely drained by this kid. Then Xiao Nan sits down, but he feels pain in his headache. And Yu Bingyun is surprised that how can Xiao Nan awaken so quickly, and she thinks, normally, comparing mental power between a mid-stage nascent soul cultivator and a third-stage spiritual energy disciple, he should be completely unaffected. And Yu Bingyun pulls Xiao Nan closer to her and starts looking at him, and she thinks there's no sign of him being infiltrated at all. But then Xiao Nan pushes Yu Bingyun away and asks her, who are you? And Xiao Nan thinks, damn, is this woman's brain fried? And Yu Bingyun thinks her mental power is terrifying. The man prophesied by the ancestor, and Yu Bingyun slowly starts moving closer to Xiao Nan, and Xiao Nan starts getting a little nervous and he says, I'm a decent man, I don't sell my body. And Xiao Nan thinks she's definitely a pervert. And Yu Bingyun says, junior brother Xiao Nan, This senior sister is Yu Bingyun, an inner disciple of the Sword Sect's first peak. You can call me senior sister Yu. I remember during the daytime cultivation test, junior brother was at the third stage of spiritual energy, right? And she thinks, calm down. Don't scare away my precious disciple. And Xiao Nan says, there are so many newly initiated disciples in the Sword Sect, yet senior sister is paying special attention to me. Could it be that you desire my body and want to dual cultivate with me? And Yu Bingyun gets a little angry and she says, you're the only one with third stage spiritual energy among this batch of new recruits. Who wouldn't remember? And she again hits Xiao Nan on the head, and as soon as Xiao Nan gets hit, the system tells him, receive damage, Constitution +3. And Xiao Nan thinks, here it comes again. And Yu Bingyun says, the elder of the first peak of the Sword Sect, Red Dust Peak, is concerned about your cultivation, afraid that junior brother might fall behind. So she specially sent this senior sister to take care of you. And she thinks, even if the spell is ineffective, I, the elder, will personally care for the new recruit. With such heartfelt sincerity, he'll definitely be devoted to me, right? And then Xiao Nan says to Yu Bingyun, senior sister, can you hit me again? On hearing Xiao Nan's words, Yu Bingyun gets a bit confused and Xiao Nan smilingly thinks, this woman used a spell on me first, then she gave me a whack, and then my spirit and constitution improved. So, as long as I get hurt, I can get negative feedback benefits from this cultivation curse system. This is a miracle. And Xiao Nan again says to Yu Bingyun, senior sister, really? Hit me, quickly. And when Xiao Nan tries to catch Yu Bingyun gets angry and she kicks Xiao Nan on the head, and as soon as Yu Bingyun's kick lands on Xiao Nan's head, the system tells him, receive damage, Constitution +5. And Yu Bingyun is a little surprised and Xiao Nan catches hold of Yu Bingyun's wing and tells her, senior sister, don't worry, it doesn't smell. And Yu Bingyun says, pervert, let go of me. And Xiao Nan lets go of Yu Bingyun's leg, and Yu Bingyun moves back a little and Xiao Nan thinks, ha 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 ha, as long as I get beaten, I can level up even while lying down. This is awesome. And Yu Bingyun thinks, ancestor, the child of destiny you prophesied seems to be a pervert. Then Yu Bingyun gives Xiao Nan a secret manual and tells him, Junior brother Xiao Nan, here is a secret manual that contains all the things a cultivator should pay attention to from chi refining to foundation establishment. If junior brother diligently cultivates according to this book, you will definitely make rapid progress. 3 years of chi refining. And Xiao Nan starts looking at that book and Yu Bingyun's eyes start shining and she smiles and thinks, a genius's brain is always a bit special, after all. Plus, even if he's a pervert, I'm determined to get this kid. Then Xiao Nan says, 3 years of chi refining? Senior sister, is there also a book called 5 Years of Foundation Establishment? And Yu Bingyun gets a little surprised and she says to him, how did you know? And Yu Bingyun thinks, this secret manual was specially entrusted by the ancestor when she ascended, to be given to the child of destiny. And Yu Bingyun says, alright, junior brother, there's no time like the present. Let's cultivate tonight according to the methods in this manual. And Xiao Nan sits down to cultivate lazy and the system tells him, lazy cultivation, spiritual energy +2. And Xiao Nan thinks, hey, this works too. Not bad, not bad. But Yu Bingyun says to Xiao Nan, do you think this senior sister is an idiot? The flow of surrounding spiritual energy hasn't changed at all. You're just pretending. And she slaps Xiao Nan and Xiao Nan starts cultivating properly. Then the system tells him, diligent cultivation, spiritual energy -2. And in this way Xiao Nan's cultivation starts going into minus and Xiao Nan thinks, it's just as I thought. Diligent cultivation will only make me worse. And Yu Bingyun laughingly says, don't worry, senior sister will accompany you all night tonight. And Xiao Nan thinks, could this woman be a stumbling block on my cultivation path? And just then Jin Xiu comes to meet Xiao Nan and she says, junior brother Xiao Nan, are you in there? And Yu Bingyun gets surprised on hearing Jin Xiu's voice and she quickly shuts Xiao Nan's mouth, and she asks Xiao Nan to keep quiet. And Xiao Nan feels weird because of being so close to Yu Bingyun. And the system tells him, body feels hot and restless, fire spiritual root +1. And Jin Xiu says, I'm the head disciple of the elder of the first peak of the sword sect, Medicine Peak. The elder heard that junior brother's cultivation is only at the 3rd stage of spiritual energy, so she specially sent this senior sister to bring you some pills. And Yu Bingyun says, what first peak? She really dares to say that. And she thinks, if junior sister bumped into me trying to monopolize this kid, she'd definitely interfere. I'll hide and see what's going on first. And Yu Bingyun asks Xiao Nan to keep quiet, and she hides inside a cupboard and she says, don't you dare say anyone came by. Then Jin Xiu opens the door and comes inside and she says, junior brother Xiao Nan is really diligent, still cultivating so late at night? And Xiao Nan says, may I ask why senior sister has come so late at night? And Jin Xiu thinks it's dark and windy, and a woman appears in my bedroom, yet I'm so calm? As expected of the child of destiny prophesied by the ancestor. And Xiao Nan thinks, holy shit, what's going on tonight? One after another. Then Jin Xiu says, junior brother, senior sister have brought you spirit condensation pills. This is a great tonic that can quickly increase your cultivation. And Jin Xiu thinks, once I use these precious spirit condensation pills to recruit this new disciple. And Xiao Nan thinks, I can enjoy a happy and fulfilling two-person, oh no, master-disciple world. And Xiao Nan says, using so many precious pills to nurture a disciple, Master Jin Xiu is the person in the sword sect who treats me best. And Xiao Nan thinks, holy fucking shit. Did I poke a hornet's nest of weird women tonight? And Jin Xiu starts moving towards Xiao Nan, and she tries to feed Xiao Nan a pill and she says, junior brother, be good, open your mouth and eat it. And Xiao Nan thinks, what kind of bullshit tonic? What if the system determines it's poison? Wouldn't I be screwed? But then the pill falls from Jin Xiu's hand. And Jin Xiu falls on Xiao Nan. And Xiao Nan says to her, I'm sorry, senior sister, I dirted such a precious pill. And Xiao Nan becomes happy and thinks, that way, you won't pressure me to eat it, right? And Jin Xiu stands up and crushes the pill with her feet, and she says, once these pills are interfered with by a strong external force, their medicinal properties will change. Tonics become poison. This spirit condensation pill is useless. And Xiao Nan becomes happy and he thinks, poison? Good stuff. And Jin Xiao says to Xiao Nan, junior brother doesn't need to feel bad. Our medicine peak has plenty of pills. Enough to satisfy. Junior brother, be good. Eat this spirit condensation pill, and you'll be one of us on medicine peak. And Xiao Nan gets nervous and asks Jin Xiao to wait. And Yu Bingyun was watching all this secretly. And she thinks Jin Xiao, that girl, is too cunning, trying to bribe Xiao Nan with pills. But then due to Yu Bingyun's mistake, her hand hits someone and hearing that sound, Jin Xiao gets a little surprised and she says, "What's that sound?" And Xiao Nan in a panic says to Jin Xiao, "Senior sister, did you mishear something?" There was no sound. But Jin Xiao moves Xiao Nan aside and starts going ahead and she says, "Junior brother, don't be afraid. If anything malicious appears, I'll protect you." And as she is about to open the cupboard, Yu Bingyun gets a little panicked. But then Xiao Nan picks up a pill and Jin Xiao is surprised to see it, and Xiao Nan says to her, "Senior sister, this pill changes its properties with just a touch. Isn't it really that amazing?" And Jin Xiao gets panicked, and she tries to stop Xiao Nan from eating that pill, but Xiao Nan has already eaten that pill before that. And as soon as he eats that pill, his energy increases a lot. And the system tells him, toxic pill effect activated, spiritual energy plus 1000, constitution plus 100, stamina plus 100. Host, Xiao Nan current, spiritual energy stage 4, 500 I20001 constitution grade 8, 100/500, soul grade 8, 100/500, stamina grade 9, 54 out of 100. And Xiao Nan gets happy and he thinks, as expected, poison is like a tonic for me, a single wasted pill, and I've already broken through. And Jin Xiao thinks, if even a failed pill can give him this kind of boost, I can't imagine how much a proper pill would enhance him. And Yu Bingyun thinks, so this is the legendary chosen physique? And both the pick masters say, I must have him. But then someone knocks on the door and says, excuse me, is this Xiao Nan's room? And both get surprised on hearing that voice and Jin Xiao thinks, it's Shan Wu Yen. I didn't expect second senior sister to come secretly, and bribe Xiao Nan as well. Then Xiao Nan says, senior sister, it looks like someone else is coming again. And Jin Xiao says, why did you say again? But Xiao Nan doesn't answer Jin Xiao and Jin Xiao says, if second senior sister finds me here, she'll use bribery as an excuse to take Xiao Nan as her disciple. I need to hide. Got it. And Jin Xiao also gets a cupboard to hide and she starts going inside the cupboard and Xiao Nan gets scared but Jin Xiao says to him, junior brother, make sure you don't tell anyone I was here. And she goes inside the cupboard and Xiao Nan holds his head and he says, whatever. You two have fun. And then they both collide with each other, and Jin Xiao gets surprised. Then Xiao Nan opens the door, and he says, I'm Xiao Nan. May I ask? Ice-cold beauty, oh, no, I mean senior sister, what brings you here? And Shan Wuyen looks at Xiao Nan with cold ice eyes and she thinks, he leveled up in a single night? No wonder the ancestors' prophecy called him the heaven's chosen, so talented and hardworking. And Xiao Nan says, could it be that she's also here to help with my cultivation? A senior guiding a junior? Then he says, Ahi. Senior sister, which elder sent you to help me? And Shan Wuyen says, help you? I'm just here to inform you about Sect Hall assignments. And Xiao Nan says, oh, right. Today is the allocation day for new disciples. Thank you for the notice. Next day we see an elder standing in an arena and there is a puppet behind him. And lots of disciples gather. And the elder tells the people, the sword sect is divided into 4 halls: Grassroot Hall, Garland Hall, Jibo Hall, and Pride Hall. Each hall has different levels of instructors and teaching quality. This automaton disciple is at Chi refining 2nd stage. He will serve as your evaluation standard. If you can last half a stick of incense, you'll be placed in Garland Hall. 1 burned stick, Jibo Hall. 2 burned sticks, Pride Hall. Adjust yourselves. The assessment begins now. And the disciples say, yes. Then we see Xiao Nan, who has not slept all night, so he is very tired, and he says, It's all because of those two suspicious women. I didn't sleep all night. And then a boy named Xian Duo comes there, and he says to Xiao Nan, "Isn't this yesterday's 3-stage, bro? Among this year's new disciples, the weakest one is probably you, Xiao Nan." And Xiao Nan thinks, Xian Duo tested at spiritual energy stage 10 yesterday, just one step away from advancing. He's practically a prodigy. And then the system says to Xiao Nan, psychological damage received, soul +5. And seeing this, Xiao Nan gets happy and he says, "Hey, that counts too?" Then Xiao Nan says to Qian Duo, "Try insulting me again." And Qian Duo gets angry and says, "What? Losing your temper now? If it weren't for your family's influence, how would trash like you even qualify to join the Sword Sect?" And the system says to Xiao Nan, psychological damage received, soul +5, psychological damage received, soul +5. And Xiao Nan becomes happy inside his mind and he says, "Nice. Well said, keep going, don't stop." Then a side character says to Qian Duo, "Senior brother Qian, does this guy have a screw loose?" And the other side character says, "Yeah, why is he not angry but instead looks like he's enjoying it?" And then a new character comes there, and his name is Jibo Mei Yong, and he says, "You people, since you've already joined the sect, do you not know the rules left by our Sword Sect's ancestor Su? Regardless of background, our Sword Sect treats everyone equally." And all the disciples are surprised to see Jibo Mei Yong, but they say, "That's Jibo Mei Yong, born into the Jibo family of the northern region, possessing an innate pure yang constitution, with unparalleled talent. Senior brother Jibo has already stepped into Qi refining stage 2 among this year's new disciples. He is the strongest. So young, yet already exuding the demeanor of a young sovereign. So handsome." And Jibo Mei Yong says, "Brother Xiao may be weak and insignificant, but that doesn't mean he deserves to be ridiculed by so many of you." And the system tells Xiao Nan, inspired, soul -5, inspired, soul -5. And Xiao Nan thinks, "Brother, where did you come from? Stop meddling, I still need to increase my soul stats." Then Jibo Mei Yong says while leaving, "I always remember the difficulty of breaking through to spiritual energy stage 3 at the age of 7. Seeing that Brother Xiao is also at stage 3 of spiritual energy, I can't help but sigh and feel deeply moved. And Xiao Nan thinks you overdid it." And Jibo Mei Yong looks back and he says, "Though having a pure yang constitution prevents stagnation, if I were 16 and still at spiritual energy stage 3, I might consider finding a tree to hang myself." And Xiao Nan thinks, "Oh wow, waiting to roast me, huh? Thought you were a good guy, but you're just a big-tailed wolf." And then the system says to Xiao Nan, psychological damage received, soul +11, host status, soul grade 8, 178/500. And Xiao Nan says, "Senior brother Jibo, right? Thanks." And Qian Duo is a little surprised and he says, "What's with Xiao Nan? No matter how much we ridicule him, he doesn't react at all." And the side character says, "Yeah, it's like punching cotton. So boring." Then we see Shan Wuyan, who is standing on top of a tree and watching all this, and she says, amidst the criticism from fellow disciples, he can actually restrain himself from being affected. Impressive. With such composure, he is destined for greatness. I must recruit him into No Sword Peak. And then the elder shouts and says, "Next, following the spiritual energy test rankings, the evaluation begins. First up, Xiao Nan." And Xiao Nan is a little surprised and he says, "Huh? The test starts from the lowest rank?" And Qian Duo smiles. He says they must want to end the weak battles quickly and save time for the talented disciples. And the side character says, "I bet Xiao Nan won't last 5 breaths against the puppet disciple." And the other side character says, "Too generous, 3 breaths at most. After all, he's only at spiritual energy stage 3. And Xiao Nan says, "Disciple Xiao Nan, please grant me your guidance." And he thinks, "I wanted to see how others fought, but now I have no choice but to rely on myself." And Shan Wuyan thinks, "Xiao Nan, let me see your potential." And now Xiao Nan gets ready to fight with the puppet. And he has his sword in his hand and he attacks the puppet with the sword. But then the puppet hits him in the stomach and throws him very far away, due to which Xiao Nan gets seriously injured. And Shan Wu Yen is watching all this and she thinks, sigh, is his cultivation still too low? And Xiao Nan falls outside the arena, and seeing all this the disciples say, he lost in a single move. Yeah, he should have lasted at least a few breaths. And Xiao Nan stands up again and the system tells him, severe injury received, vitality plus 20, constitution plus 20, endurance plus 8. And Xiao Nan thinks, huh? Why doesn't it hurt as much as I imagined? It must be the curse system. As long as I don't get instantly defeated, it boosts my stats when I take a hit. Look! Look at the Manhwa. This puppet disciple is the perfect training dummy for me to farm experience. And Shan Wu Yen gets a bit surprised and she says he's standing back up. Does he still want to continue? And Xiao Nan again starts moving towards the arena to fight with the puppet. And Xiao Nan moves forward to attack the puppet and he thinks, experience my baby, here I come. And now a fierce fight is going on between Xiao Nan and the puppet. And the disciples are also watching all these things. And the system tells Xiao Nan, severely injured, Qi and blood plus 19, bone structure plus 22, endurance plus 7, severely injured, Qi and blood plus 23, bone structure plus 21, endurance plus 5. And Xiao Nan again moves forward to fight and he is giving a tough fight to the puppet, and seeing this the disciples say, how long has he been holding on? Already 2 incense sticks time. And the elder says he keeps getting knocked down by the puppet disciple, yet he keeps getting back up. And the female side character says, unyielding resilience. And he even looks handsome, he's simply a role model for us all. And the puppet hits Xiao Nan with many punches which Xiao Nan is blocking with his sword, but his sword is just about to break. But still Xiao Nan is smiling and he thinks, I can't break this puppet disciple, but this thing can't kill me either. As long as I'm tough enough, I can keep farming experience. And the puppet breaks Xiao Nan's sword with its punch. And Xiao Nan is shocked to see this, and Qian Duo is also a little shocked and he says, even his weapon broke. Surely it's over now? It's just a school placement test. Does he really need to go this hard? And the side character says, holding out against the Qi refining stage 2 mechanized puppet with only a 4th stage spirit power cultivation. Even senior brotherly Bo, a genius, might not be able to do this. And now all the disciples start cheering Xiao Nan. And Xiao Nan throws the broken sword towards the puppet so that the puppet throws it with both his hands in front. And Xiao Nan is about to use his punch and he moves forward and says, let me show you my fist, the size of a clay pot. Come on. Keep hitting me. And Xiao Nan now starts hitting the puppet with many punches and the system tells Xiao Nan, host, Xiao Nan, endurance has broken through to grade 8. And then the puppet attacks Xiao Nan and injures him and Xiao Nan thinks, damn it. Even with the curse system boosting me, allowing my qi and blood as well as bone structure to recover continuously, my body still has a limit to how much damage it can take. And the system tells Xiao Nan that all his grades have increased now. But Xiao Nan is still a little injured and he thinks, still, this thing is an absolute experience farm. It feels amazing to fight. But then due to many attacks by Xiao Nan, the puppet now bends down on its knees. And seeing this the elder gets shocked and he thinks, to think he forced the puppet disciple to this point. Although his cultivation isn't high, his willpower is incredible. If he continues to grow, how terrifying would he become? And then a rooster comes out from the puppet's head and makes a strange sound and takes Xiao Nan's name. And seeing this all the disciples get shocked and they say, why is the puppet disciple stuttering like this? Did Xiao Nan hit it so hard that it broke its brain? Is it about to announce the test results? I wonder which school Xiao Nan will be placed into? Even though his aptitude is the lowest, he's at least held on for so long. And the rooster now starts shouting very loudly and its sound goes very far, and because of that a very bright light comes out from Four Peaks Mountain, seeing which the elder gets very shocked, and he says, 4 peaks in unison. The treatment of a peerless prodigy. How many years has it been since the Sword Sect had a disciple acknowledged by all 4 peaks at once? Then the puppet says, Xiao Nan, special admission into the Prodigy Academy. And all the disciples are shocked and they say, "Heavens! That's the highest level academy in the sword sect? Could he be a genius like senior brother Jibo? Ah! Weren't they just mocking senior brother Xiao a moment ago? That slap must sting." And the elder, while picking up Xiao Nan, thinks, "This boy has the strongest perseverance I've seen in years." No wonder all four peaks acknowledged him. A talent like this mustn't suffer any long-term damage, and as soon as the elder starts shaking Xiao Nan, the system tells Xiao Nan, nourished by spiritual energy minus 510 nourished by spiritual energy minus 590 current spiritual energy, 0. And then the elder feels something and says, "Strange. I've infused so much spiritual energy into him, yet his dantian shows no reaction, as if it's sunk into the abyss." And Xiao Nan gets a little angry and thinks, "Old man, I'm seriously done here. At this rate, all the beating I took today will have been for nothing." Then Xiao Nan stops the elder and says, "Ahem, elder, my physique is a bit special. My spiritual energy has to recover on its own, so you don't have to expend yours on me." And as soon as the elder listens to Xiao Nan, tears come into his eyes and he thinks, "I've heard that some unique physiques remain hidden until their cultivation reaches a certain level. Sword sect ancestors, very soon we will have a mighty force rising from among us." Then Xiao Nan stands up, and then he notices something and starts looking ahead. And we see that many disciples are cheering for Xiao Nan. But two people are looking at Xiao Nan seriously. But the disciples say, "Senior brother Xiao, you're amazing. You endured that puppet disciple for so long, and even triggered the Four Peaks phenomenon. This is what they call a true expert revealing his prowess. Senior brother, after today's lessons, could you give me some pointers?" "Me too. Count me in. I want to learn too." And Xiao Nan starts getting a little nervous and thinks, "Did I overdo it today? That so-called curse system is still not fully under my control. I should keep a low profile and fade into the background a bit." Then Xiao Nan tells them, "Ahem, everyone, to be honest, my performance today was purely a fluke. I've always been tough and could take a beating. The puppet disciple probably couldn't unleash its full power due to my weak spiritual energy, so that's why it ended up being an even fight." And a female side character says to Xiao Nan, "You mean the puppet disciple adjusts its strength based on its opponent?" So Xiao Nan says, "You could say that." And the female side character says, "But the Four Peaks phenomenon. That's not something that happens to just anyone." So Xiao Nan says, "Well, it must be because my strength is the weakest. The sword sect wanted to use me as an example, to show that the sect treats everyone equally, and won't neglect any disciple. As long as you work hard and cultivate diligently, the sect will recognize your potential. Right, elder?" And the elder says, "But the academy placement." But then Xiao Nan glares at the elder, because of which the elder understands what Xiao Nan wants to say to him. And he says to all those disciples, "Ah yes, exactly. What Xiao Nan said is absolutely right. That's what the sect intended." And a side character says, "So he lasted that long just because he's good at taking a beating?" And another side character says, "And he got selected just because he was the weakest and went first? So the sect gave him some encouragement? So it was just dumb luck." And Xiao Nan smilingly thinks, yes, that's the right way to think. And elder thinks, "This kid is so young, yet he already understands the importance of hiding his abilities and keeping a low profile. Such a character. Such composure. I'm liking him more and more." Then Qian Duo says, "Junior brother Xiao, if I remember correctly, you're from that tiny place, Wu City, right? Why don't you become my follower from now on?" So Xiao Nan says, "Huh? How about we make a bet? If you can last longer than me against the mechanized puppet, I'll agree to be your little brother." And Qian Duo thinks, this kid just lasted over 3 rounds against the mechanized child. And a side character says, "Xiao Nan, you actually dare to challenge senior brother Qian? Do you really think you're some kind of prodigy?" And the other side character says, "Exactly. You just stalled for time against the mechanized child because of your thick skin. Young Master Qian taking a liking to you is your fortune. A mongrel has no place at the feast." And Xiao Nan says, Senior Brother Jibo, are you placing a bet too? And Jibo Meiyong says, with all the races rising, human cultivators are at a disadvantage. What matters to me, Jibo Meiyong, is how we can lead our fellow cultivators back to glory. You lot are truly lacking ambition. And Xiao Nan smiles and thinks, what a load of talk. And Xiao Nan says to Qian Duo Duo, so? Are you betting or not? And Qian Duo Duo says, bet? Of course. There's no way I'd lose to someone like Xiao Sanduan. And he thinks, I'm at the 10th level of spiritual energy, just one step away from the Qi refining realm. There's no reason I'd lose to him. And after a while, the puppet beats Qian Duo Duo badly and defeats him very easily. And Xiao Nan is checking whether Qian Duo Duo is still alive or dead. And Xiao Nan smiles and thinks, idiots. Did you really think your bodies could take hits like mine? Then we see Jibo Meiyong and his friends who are totally exhausted after fighting with the puppet. And they say, damn it! That mechanized child is seriously tough. Even Senior Brother Jibo only lasted about as long as Xiao Sanduan. Who would have thought that useless Xiao Sanduan would win just because he could take a beating? What dumb luck! And Jibo Meiyong says, a mere trial proves nothing. Only by mastering one's talent in cultivation can one truly laugh at the end. And Xiao Nan gets a shock and he says, Senior Brother Jibo is right. Talent is everything. In cultivation, if you lack a solid foundation, it's all in vain. And the system says to Xiao Nan, psychological damage received, +4, mental strength psychological damage received, +3 mental strength. And Xiao Nan thinks, Jibo Meiyong, one day, I'll make sure you can't keep that smug mouth of yours shut. Then the elder opens a portal and tells them, you've all worked hard. Now, according to the test results, follow me to Deluo Peak for your residence assignments. And all of them go inside the portal and the scene inside is very beautiful, and the name of this place is Sword Sect Disciples' Residence. And they see a very big golden tree which is very massive. And Xiao Nan says, my God, all these golden leaves, how much are they worth? And Jibo Meiyong says, you've never seen anything before. So vulgar. Elder, may I ask about the origins of this golden spirit tree? Does it have any connection to our assigned residences? So the elder says, good question. All of Deluo Peak's spiritual energy is tied to this golden spirit tree. The closer a residence is to the tree, the richer the spiritual energy. And Xiao Nan says, if someone lived inside the tree, wouldn't that give them a massive advantage? And the elder says, none, exactly. This tree indeed holds a unique secret, but it has remained ownerless for 500 years. And Xiao Nan thinks, system, please don't assign me near this tree. I don't want anything interfering with my cultivation. And Qian Duo Duo says, Xiao Sanduan, no use envying it. A place like this, meant for those with talent, would never be given to a punching bag like you. And the elder says to them, all right, we will now begin the residence allocation. Step forward when your name is called. Then we see that a leaf from the golden tree flies towards Xiao Nan, seeing which Xiao Nan gets a little surprised. And the elder thinks, as expected of a disciple chosen by the Four Peaks, even the golden spirit tree, dormant for 500 years, opened its doors for him. And Xiao Nan says to the elder, Elder, these golden leaves. So the elder tells, they are the key to unlocking the golden spirit tree. Xiao Nan, from now on, you are its master. And hearing this, all the disciples get surprised and they say, a residence left untouched for 500 years. Given to Xiao Sanduan? He's ridiculously lucky. Why? Why does this guy always get so lucky? And the elder says, Xiao Nan, why are you standing there? Hurry and take the residence key. And Xiao Nan says, Elder, I have a humble talent. Such a valuable residence should go to someone more gifted. And the elder says, Xiao Nan, I appreciate your humility. However, since the golden spirit tree has been chosen, there's no need to decline. And Xiao Nan thinks, so, you're forcing me onto this path, huh? And the elder says, no need for disappointment, everyone. The sect holds monthly assessments. Based on your performance, residences will be reassigned. If you fail to reach the 9th level of spiritual energy within a year, you will be expelled from the sect. In short, as long as you train hard, there's still a chance to enter the Prodigy Academy and enjoy its resources. And Qian says that's right. If you get expelled in a year, all your current glory will just become gossip for others. And Xiao Nan thinks I'm in the spotlight now. If I don't make a name for myself in the next assessments, my future is doomed. But this so-called paradise is nothing but a poison den for me. How do I truly improve? And Jibomeyong says, Elder, how do we train from here? Do we just stay in our residences? And the Elder says, your residence tokens record all of Sword Sect's secret realms. You may choose any one that suits your strengths to refine yourself. However, I must warn you, some places are extremely dangerous. Don't be reckless and lose your life chasing quick gains. And Xiao Nan gets a little shocked and he thinks, extremely dangerous? I can definitely break through to the 9th level of spiritual energy within a year. Then the Elder says, alright, it's getting late. Everyone, return to your residences. After some time Xiao Nan is sitting in his room and doing cultivation, that too lazy cultivation. And the system is giving Xiao Nan +5 spiritual energy for lazy cultivation. And Xiao Nan thinks, first, the rise of the 4 peaks, then, the golden spirit tree and this golden path. Such an ostentatious display. Why do I feel like everything is being orchestrated? And then Xiao Nan feels something and he says, who's watching me? And we see that someone is really keeping an eye on Xiao Nan through a crystal ball. And those two are Yu Bingyun and Jin Xiu, and Jin Xiu says, Senior sister, is your crystal ball working? I think he noticed us. So Yu Bingyun says, with his current strength, there's no way he could detect us spying on him. But I didn't expect his spiritual perception to be this sharp. It seems we need to observe him more closely in the dead of night to truly gauge his potential. And Xiao Nan becomes alert. But he relaxes again and says, maybe today's events were just too unbelievable, making me a bit paranoid. Soul and bone structure represent the body's toughness. It's said that Ji Bomyang's pure yang physique has at least a 3rd grade innate bone structure. Although my physical condition has improved slightly over the past 2 days with the system's boost, if I want to pass the assessment in a month, I still need to train hard. Let's see if there's a suitable secret realm for me. The 7-star cave 18 floors, each allowing one to comprehend the path of swordsmanship and meteor techniques. The Supreme Sword Tower 99 floors, each capable of unlocking one's potential. The Wind and Cloud Lake. There are many secret realms, but none offer significant improvement for me. The Hidden Realm contains countless treasures and blessings, but it's filled with lava and fierce winds. Prolonged exposure is highly damaging to a cultivator's body. Found it. A secret realm tailor-made for me. Since I can't sleep anyway, I might as well go check it out. Then we see Yu Bingyun and Jin Xiu who are still keeping an eye on Xiao Nan. And Yu Bingyun says, maybe I should call it a night here. And Jin Xiu says, Senior sister. It's 4th junior sister. And Xiao Nan. And Yu Bingyun gets shocked and looks into the crystal ball and she says, what? Mo Li and Xiao Nan are together? And we see Mo Li who is taking a bath. And then Xiao Nan comes there, and he sees Mo Li and he thinks, damn, I just wanted to wash my face to wake up, and now I stumble upon such a shocking scene. Are my eyeballs about to be gouged out? And Mo Li is looking really very beautiful, and she is slowly moving forward, and Xiao Nan says to her, excuse me, I didn't know you were here. I meant no offense. And Xiao Nan thinks, how do I explain this without making her scream and alert everyone? And then Mo Li throws the wine bottle towards Xiao Nan, and Xiao Nan catches it, and Mo Li says to him, seeing how dry your lips are you craving some wine too? And Xiao Nan thinks, she's not screaming about gouging out my eyes? What an unexpected reaction. And Xiao Nan drinks the wine but he feels very strong. And Mo Li also sees this thing and she says, not bad, not bad. I like you. And Shan Wu Yan in wet clothes starts moving slowly towards Xiao Nan, and going close to him says to him, drinking so boldly at such a young age, that's rare. And Xiao Nan is controlling himself because Mo Li is very close to him. Then Mo Li makes Xiao Nan fall and Xiao Nan laughingly says to her, ha ha ha, well, senior sister's wine smells so good, spreading 10 miles away it's hard to resist. But senior sister, I have low alcohol tolerance. But then Emily says, ugh, my head is spinning now too. And Emily falls on Xiao Nan, and Xiao Nan too is a little surprised, and he says to Emily, it's already late. Perhaps you should head back soon, senior sister. And Emily says, sister feels so cold. Little brother, could you warm me up? This opportunity is right in front of you. Why not seize it? And Xiao Nan thinks, since she's already said this much. And Emily thinks, I've been planning this encounter ever since this brat stepped out the door. Trying to steal my disciple? Keep dreaming. And you Bing Yun and Jin Xiu are watching all this, and they both say, Emily, this is so unfair. You're seducing this kid. As a teacher, this is disgraceful. Yeah, what disciple could resist this test? You're not selecting a disciple, you're taking advantage of him. A disgrace. A beast. And then Xiao Nan moves his hand forward, but Emily puts the wine bottle in front, due to which Xiao Nan does not grab her boobs. And Emily thinks, didn't expect this brat to have such strong self-control. Then she sits down and she says, judging by your clothes, you're one of this year's new disciples? What are you doing in such a remote place? And Xiao Nan says, I came here to explore the Flame Prison Gale's secret realm of our sword sect. But I haven't found the entrance yet. And Xiao Nan thinks, wait, why does the plot suddenly feel completely different now? And Emily gets surprised and she says, this realm is full of gale winds and fire poison. Ordinary cultivators wouldn't survive inside. With your level, you're basically walking to your death. And Xiao Nan says, I know, and both the pick masters also hear Xiao Nan's words and they both say, this kid. Is he out of his mind? And then the system says to Xiao Nan, receiving silent disdain, spirit plus 25, plus 25, plus 25. And Xiao Nan thinks, normally, being mocked or looked down on only gives 5 or 6 spirit points. What level is this senior sister? How can she give me so much soul strength? And 3 times, at that. And Emily says, this realm isn't something someone at your level should enter. Rushing will only lead to failure, you should head back and rest. But Xiao Nan holds her hand and says to her, the night is long. How about we continue our in-depth discussion, senior sister? And Emily says, wait, you, what are you trying to do? And Xiao Nan said to Emily, senior sister, did you feel that? And Emily says, feel what? Let go of me first. And she thinks, I didn't expect this guy to be more well-built than he looks. Not bad for a deeper investigation. And Xiao Nan starts moving forward and he says, my heart, tirelessly dedicated to the rise of the sword sect, my will, burning fiercely for strength. And Emily thinks, the child of destiny foretold by the founder really does have a few screws loose. And Emily points in one direction and says, sigh, it's rare for a junior brother to have such ambition. The blazing inferno wind domain is over there. You may go. And Xiao Nan thinks, she's not mocking me anymore. Could it be that my sincerity actually touched her? But judging from her expression, that's definitely not the case. And Emily says, don't worry. I'll buy you a nice coffin, junior brother. And Xiao Nan says, senior sister, that really won't be necessary. And Xiao Nan starts moving rapidly in that direction and he thinks, never mind. Better change clothes and head to the blazing inferno wind domain first. I'll find out more about this senior sister later. And Emily sends one of her treasures to Xiao Nan, which Xiao Nan is not able to notice. And Emily starts smiling. Then Xiao Nan reaches that place. And we see 2 people who are coming out of that place carrying an injured man. And they say, don't you know where this is? Just broke into the Spirit Force stage, and you're already following seniors into a death trap? And Xiao Nan is surprised to see this place, but he is happy, and starts going inside quickly, and he says, I've come to the right place. And the 3 people who are going outside are very surprised to see Xiao Nan because Xiao Nan is very happy, and those people do not understand anything. Then Xiao Nan comes inside, and the view inside is very dangerous. Lava and thunder are spread everywhere. And Xiao Nan is standing at one place and observing all these things, and he says, these natural spiritual hazards that make regular cultivators tremble. It is actually great nourishment for me. And then the system says to Xiao Nan, hit by a lethal windstorm, Wind spiritual root plus 21, constitution plus 31, endurance plus 27, meridian toughen 55 plus 28, corroded by lethal windfire spiritual energy plus 28. And Xiao Nan thinks, if I train here for a month, wouldn't I become invincible among my peers? Am I seeing things? Spirit power stage 4? And he came here? Is he tired of living? How reckless can this junior brother be? Are you feeling unwell now? Not at all. In fact, I feel amazing. And seeing Xiao Nan, the 3 disciples get very shocked and they say, ignorance is bliss, let's go. He'll crawl out once he can't take it anymore. And a girl says, wait, he's still our fellow disciple. As seniors, we should help him. Then she says to Xiao Nan, junior brother, this is a fire spirit orb. It detects nearby fire poison. If it turns yellow, that means the fire poison is too much, avoid that area. Let me give you one more boost. Temporary debuff supplied, but due to use of that girl's power, Xiao Nan's strength starts decreasing, seeing which Xiao Nan gets shocked, and he says, what the hell is this? And the girl says, this technique temporarily boosts your abilities, helping you resist fire poison. Senior sister simply doesn't want to see someone so young die here. No need to thank me. And Xiao Nan thinks, don't worry. I definitely won't. Boosting technique? More like a disguised nerf. I was all set to show off, and now the day's gains are ruined. Still, you did get a useful item. Use it to find the areas with the most intense fire poison. What's that ahead? The fire poison feels particularly thick. Let's take a look. And the system says, severely weakened physique. Hit by deadly fire poison. Fire spiritual root plus 44, constitution plus 33, endurance plus 35, meridian toughness asterisk 3. Corroded by lethal windfire energy. Spiritual energy plus 33. Sluggish cultivation detected. Spiritual energy plus 20. And Xiao Nan says it's glowing gold? What could be in there to cause such a strong reaction? And as Xiao Nan goes ahead, he sees a very big door. And as he opens the door, he sees a corpse, seeing which Xiao Nan gets scared. But the corpse falls in front of him, and Xiao Nan gets shocked, and he says, turns out it was a corpse. No telling if he died from fire poison and wind erosion, or because of this. But I've got a cursed system. These chests everyone else avoids like the plague are great opportunities for me, and as soon as Xiao Nan opens the treasure chest, dangerous energy starts coming out from inside it. And energy starts going inside Xiao Nan, due to which Xiao Nan's fire spiritual root plus 52, constitution plus 29, spiritual energy plus 27, endurance plus 25, meridian toughness plus 2. And Xiao Nan says, such terrifying heat poison? No wonder he couldn't withstand it. Huh! What's this? And there is a crystal in the treasure chest which Xiao Nan grabs. And the system tells him, severely weakened physique. Hit by deadly firestorm, fire spiritual root plus 56, constitution plus 41, endurance plus 47, meridian toughness plus 45, corroded by lethal windfire spiritual energy plus 45. And a lot of power starts going inside Xiao Nan, and he thinks, this full body rush. It feels amazing. And now Xiao Nan's power has increased a lot, and he looks at his status. Host, Xiao Nan breakthrough to Spirit Force Stage 5 current. Spirit Force Stage 5, 2058/10000, Constitution, advanced to Grade 7, 1580/2000, Fire Spiritual Root, advanced to Grade 7, 511/20001, Wind Spiritual Root, advanced to Grade 7, 508/20001, Endurance, advanced to Grade 7, 631/2000, Spirit, Grade 8, 276/500. And Xiao Nan says, such crazy gains. This rock is a total treasure. If this keeps up, who needs cultivation? I'll dominate the Sword Sect, marry the Saintess, and reach the pinnacle of life. But then Xiao Nan starts coughing and blood comes out of his mouth, and he falls down on his knees and says, what the hell just happened? The system says, sustained fatal fire attribute spiritual energy damage, fire attribute spiritual energy resistance plus 100, acquired physique fire poison tyrant body. When attacked by any fire attribute spiritual energy, damage will be significantly reduced. Just then Xiao Nan feels something and says, not good. The reverse benefits brought by the cursed system are too overwhelming. It has completely exceeded what my body can endure. Then he retreats from the treasure chest and closes it, and the system says, slight physique degradation, sustained wind fire spiritual energy erosion, fire spiritual root plus 6, bone structure plus 7, stamina plus 4, meridians roughness plus 5, sustained fatal wind fire spiritual energy erosion, spiritual energy plus 5. And Xiao Nan thinks, why did it drop to single digits? Looks like that strange stone strengthened my physique, weakening the beneficial effects of the fire energy mixed in the air. The Pride Hall's formal lessons begin tomorrow. I can't stay up too late today. Rushing things won't help. I'll come back next time. Then Xiao Nan comes out of the cave and says, weird. When did I end up with a gourd on me? Just then Emily starts coming towards Xiao Nan, and Xiao Nan gets a little surprised seeing her. And Emily says to him, Junior brother, you're out? Xiao Nan says, Senior sister? Why are you here? Emily says, of course, I was worried about you. Quick, take off your clothes. Xiao Nan gets a little nervous on hearing Emily's words and he says, Senior sister, we barely even know each other. Isn't this a bit too blatant? But Emily says, what blatant nonsense? The infernal wind cave is filled with fire poison gale. Who knows if you carried any of it out with you? This is just a routine check. Xiao Nan accepts Emily's words and removes the clothes from his body. But he blushes and he says, Look, it's not like I'm losing anything. When Emily sees Xiao Nan's muscles and six-pack abs, she thinks, didn't expect this kid to be quiet. Well built. After going into the cave, not only was he unharmed by the fire poison gale, but it even seems to be merging with his body. How strange, as expected of the fated son prophesied by the Sect's founder. His physique is truly extraordinary. Once I take him as my personal disciple. Hee. Xiao Nan is a bit surprised to see Emily's face, and sweat is clearly visible on his face, and he thinks, what is this woman up to? Back at the hot spring, too, everything about her feels unnatural. Then Xiao Nan shakes off Emily's hand, and Emily says to him, Junior brother, what are you doing? Xiao Nan asks, who are you really? So Emily says, I am obviously your senior sister. Also Emily thinks, damn, did he figure out my identity? Then Xiao Nan shows Emily the gourd and says to her, this? You must have secretly attached it to me back at the hot spring. You were spying on me? Emily says, who was spying on you? I was just worried you'd be in danger in the cave, so I left a wisp of my divine soul in the gourd to keep watch. That way, nothing unexpected would happen. Now that you're out, hurry up and return the gourd to me. Xiao Nan touches the upper part of the gourd and says, really? This thing isn't for surveillance? As soon as Xiao Nan touches the gourd, Emily feels something weird. Electricity starts running through her whole body. And she starts shivering. And Xiao Nan asks Emily, Senior sister, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? But Emily says, it's nothing. Since you're fine, just give me back the gourd. Emily moves her hand forward to take the gourd, but Xiao Nan moves his hand back and starts smiling. And he again touches the upper part of the gourd, due to which Emily again starts feeling awkward. And electricity starts running through her body again, and she bends in front of Xiao Nan and tells him, Brat, don't randomly touch that gourd. Emily thinks, there's a trace of my divine soul in that gourd. Every time he fiddles with it, it's like I'm being stroked all over. Xiao Nan says, Senior sister, just be honest. What exactly are your intentions toward me? Emily says, fine, I don't have the strength to argue. Come closer, I'll whisper it to you, actually I am. Xiao Nan asks who after all? But then Emily brings her big boobs near Xiao Nan's face, which shocks Xiao Nan, and Emily presses Xiao Nan with her big boobs, and says to him, I am your martial grandmother. Xiao Nan says, Grandmother? I can't breathe. Emily says, Brat. Still wanna play? But Xiao Nan gets scared and he says no. Emily thinks if this brat weren't the sect founder's prophesied child, I would have sent him straight to the afterlife with one punch. Then she takes the gourd and says, stop pretending. It won't kill you. There's class tomorrow. Hurry back. As soon as Emily moves away from Xiao Nan heaves a sigh of relief and says, that senior sister. Such overwhelming strength. Next day, Pride Hall. Xiao Nan is very tired and is feeling sleepy and is doing lazy cultivation due to which his spiritual energy is increasing. And he thinks, I still don't know where that crazy woman came from yesterday. I barely got any sleep. And then the instructor says to all the disciples, welcome to Pride Hall. I am one of the instructors overseeing this month's examination. You may call me Instructor Neo. The path of cultivation requires talent, intelligence, perseverance, and luck none can be lacking. Today, I will begin by teaching you the elemental counterplay of a cultivator's spiritual energy. Xiao Nan. Sleeping in my class, do you have a problem with my teaching? Xiao Nan says, no, not at all. I think it's great. Instructor Neo, don't sell yourself short. Please continue. And he thinks, I just need to slack off to learn properly. Qian Duo laughs at Xiao Nan and starts making fun of him and says trash will always be trash. Sleeping during such an important lesson? Do you think you can slack off in Pride Hall just because the sect approved your admission? Useless mud can't be sculpted into anything. You belong in the grassroots hall. Get lost already. The instructor makes a strange face and says, good, very good. So arrogant. Today, I'll make sure you understand the gap between you and others. Pride Hall is no place for slackers like you. Xiao Nan, from the Xiao family of Wuqing in the Northern Territory, water spirit attribute. The fierceness of fire is enough to burn all that wood creates. This is the principle of elemental countering, among those present, who has the fire spirit energy. Step forward. Listening to the instructor's words, all the disciples start talking. And they say, oh? Is this going to be a hands-on lesson for Xiao Nan? Exactly. I heard Senior Neo has already reached level 5. In the last lesson, no one dared challenge him. He's going up against the big snow eagle. Then, from among those disciples, a very strong bodybuilder disciple comes forward and says, I'll do it. Seeing Tietue, all the disciples start speaking and they say, it's the Senior Iron Hammer. I heard Senior Iron Hammer has reached level 5. It's a good chance to assess Xiao Nan's progress too. Qingtan, someone who only pretends to be like Lu Tianxing, actually dares to lecture him. When Xiao Nan's attention goes towards the instructor, he sees that the instructor is very happy inside and he smiles strangely. Xiao Nan gets nervous after seeing Tietue and says to the instructor, teacher, can we maybe not fight? The instructor thinks, I only wanted to help this young man improve his control and reflexes. How did it end up this intense? And the instructor says, no way. If he thinks having a spirit root means he can be arrogant, I'll make sure he learns his place today. To ensure a fair match, I will adjust your cultivation levels to be the same. We'll go with Xiao Nan's 4th level spiritual power. When the instructor checks Xiao Nan's level, he is surprised and thinks, just a few days later, he's reached level 5? Then he says, spiritual power level 5 will be the benchmark. Anything beyond that will be invalid. Stop when the point is made. Now, the match begins. Xiao Nan and Tietue's fight has now started and the instructor has applied spirit power restriction, level 5. Tietue releases his aura and he says, Brother Xiao, I won't be holding back. He also thinks, so what if my cultivation is suppressed? My body is powerful, and with elemental advantage, even with lowered cultivation, I can crush him like a chick. And Tietue moves towards Xiao Nan to hit him with his punches. And seeing this the disciples get worried and they say, he's going for a killing move right away? It's over, Xiao Nan definitely can't take this move. Yeah, fire spirit energy counters with spirit energy. The instructor is also surprised and he thinks, if Tietue keeps bullying others like this and uses killing moves just for practice, we can't stand by and ignore it. But Emoli says to the instructor, just wait and see. The instructor gets a bit surprised after hearing Emoli's words, but he says, following the elder's instruction. At the same time he thinks, since the elder already gave the order, after all this mess, even if it were elsewhere, someone would have to deal with him. Tietue's punch is about to hit Xiao Nan, but Xiao Nan does not show any movement. It seems like he is ready to take Tietue's punch on himself. And Tietue thinks, so what if he faked being level 4? He still can't block my fire punch. As long as I take him down, all the honors and rewards will be mine. Tietue punches Xiao Nan hard on his face, due to which there is an explosion at that place, and smoke fills up the place. Then Tietue says to Xiao Nan, sorry, junior brother Xiao, but I'm someone with real strength. You, who rely on luck, can't compare. But then Tietue gets a shock, and Xiao Nan says to him, brother Tai? You're calling this fire spirit energy? Tietue is in shock. He cannot believe that Xiao Nan is still able to talk. And we see Xiao Nan, who wipes the dust off his clothes and says, your punch is weaker than a mechanical puppet's. Your fire spirit energy is sparse. You call yourself the strong type. Even a heavenly rabbit would be embarrassed for you. The system says to Xiao Nan, severely wounded, bones minus 150, stamina plus 80. Fire poison resistance body activated. Greatly reduces or nullifies damage from fire attribute spirit energy. When the disciples see that Xiao Nan is safe even after being punched by Tietue, they get shocked. And a disciple says, before, the mechanical puppet at least fought decently. But now he's using 5-element spirit power. How can water spirit energy block fire spirit energy? The instructor says, impossible. This is completely defying the natural order. Xiao Nan says, Senior Tietue and Instructor Neo went all out on a student. Are they trying to kill me on purpose? And he thinks, if I didn't have this curse reversal, I'd be splattered all over the place in no time. Tietue says, you? How could you block that punch without a scratch? Xiao Nan says, sorry to disappoint you. Now it's time for my counterattack. Get ready to receive it. Xiao Nan activates his powers to defeat Tietue. And then Xiao Nan disappears from in front of Tietue, seeing which Ram is completely shocked. And then Xiao Nan comes very close to Tietue and punches him dangerously on his stomach, which makes Ram scream. But Xiao Nan does not stop here, and he punches Tietue's stomach with a powerful punch, which is very dangerous. Seeing this, all the disciples are shocked, and Xiao Nan very easily defeats Tietue with 1 or 2 moves. And he says, wow, even spiritual power at level 9 ends up like this. Still completely helpless. I wonder if those who called him Master Xiao have fainted yet. They're probably about to choke from holding it in. The instructor also gets shocked, and sweat is clearly visible on his face, and he thinks, Tietue is level 9 in power. I've fought him 10 times myself, and not every level 5 spirit practitioner could beat him this easily. Xiao Nan defeated him so easily. Could he really have some kind of special talent? Xiao Nan has a smile on his face, but his face is sweating profusely. And there are scratches on his hand. And he thinks, good thing I got the passive boost from the fire poison resistance body yesterday. This skill really helped me a lot. Xiao Nan asks, Instructor Neo, who has Senior Tietue been training with recently? His moves didn't land at all. Maybe, Instructor. Get someone else? The instructor thinks, damn it, this brat was so smug just now. Then the instructor says, Xiao Nan performed well today. Although on the path of cultivation, elemental restraint is an unchanging principle since ancient times, there will always be exceptions. So do not belittle yourselves, and don't weaken your spirit in the face of strong opponents. Maintaining clarity of the Tao heart is the true path. That's all for today's lesson. Next, all disciples will follow me to the scripture pavilion to choose your cultivation techniques. Then we see Jin Shio, and she was also watching this fight from the top of a peak. And she says, did you all see that? Xiao Nan seemed to absorb Tietue's fire spirit energy just now. Yu Bingyan says, I'm really not too familiar with this attribute-absorbing mechanism. Xiao Nan probably has a special spiritual body constitution that allowed him to do that. Amoli says, Xiao Nan's foundation is already solid enough. He just lacks combat experience. Once he gets more practice, his path will be clear. Absolutely. I must take Xiao Nan as a personal disciple. All 4 masters want to make Xiao Nan their personal disciple. And Emily says, everyone, don't forget the disciple entry trial must be fair and competitive. Yu Bingyan says, unless he's directly chosen, we'll have to compete for the right to take him as a disciple. Emily says, all right, according to the senior sister's decision, we will each use our own methods. After some time, the Sword Sect Sutra Pavilion. The instructor tells the disciples, there are only 3 rules within the Sutra Pavilion. First, all newly initiated disciples may only access the first floor of the Sutra Pavilion. Second, only 1 technique may be taken out at a time. Third, the scriptures and techniques within the pavilion must not be damaged under any circumstances. In addition, there are countless techniques hidden within these walls. The quality of the technique you obtain depends solely on your fate. Do not quarrel or fight over them. Have I made myself clear? I've said all that needs to be said. You may enter now. And now all the disciples start entering the pavilion. And when they look inside, they become very surprised, because the pavilion is very big. Then pushing all the disciples aside, Qian Duo runs towards the front and says, get out of the way, this young master is going to seek my own fortune. Jibo Meiyong says, I heard that within the first and second floors of the Sutra Pavilion, there are a total of over 13,000 Huang-grade techniques, over 3,100 profound-grade techniques, and only 10 Earth-grade techniques. I will definitely find the rarest Earth-grade techniques. And Jibo Meiyong leaves. Then Xiao Nan says, if you want to find it, go find it. Why did you even follow me for so long, idiot? With such a vast collection of techniques, it's no surprise Instructor Neo said the grade of the technique you come across depends entirely on fate. Forget Earth-grade techniques, even finding one with decent quality is already tough. Xiao Nan picks up a book. On the front of that book, it is written, How to Make My Cold Master Fall in Love with Me. And on seeing this book, Xiao Nan is surprised and he says, this Sword Sect Sutra Pavilion is really special. And then Xiao Nan feels something, and when he turns back, he sees Shan Wuyan. And he thinks, again this feeling of being watched by someone, isn't that the cold senior sister who came to bring me to the hall last time? Is it her? No way, no way. This senior sister gives off a stay away from me vibe from head to toe. Why would she be sneaking glances at me? Shan Wuyan sees that Xiao Nan is staring at her. And so she asks Xiao Nan, why are you looking at me? But Xiao Nan says, no, I just wanted to say, what a coincidence, we met again, senior sister. Shan Wuyan says, I know you. Selecting technique? Xiao Nan says, yes, because the academy lessons just ended. So this junior brother is here to choose a suitable cultivation technique. Shan Wuyan thinks, as they say, timing is everything. This is the perfect chance to pass on Sword Peak's core technique, the Sword Codex, to him. The only problem is, how do I give it to him without making it seem too deliberate? Xiao Nan thinks, this senior sister might be good looking, but staring at someone like that, it's honestly a little scary. Then Shan Wuyan takes the technique from Xiao Nan's hand to see it, and she says, is this the technique junior brother has chosen? I have some insight into cultivation methods, perhaps I can offer a bit of guidance. Xiao Nan gets scared. When Shan Wuyan sees the name of the technique, she gets surprised. And she thinks, how to make my cold master fall in love with me. He is actually reading this kind of book. Has he discovered that I am his master? Cold master. Love, does he like me? Then the system says, you've received unexpected goodwill from a spiritual source, soul -15. Xiao Nan gets scared and he thinks, wait, what's with this sudden goodwill? Ice-cold senior sister, what are you even doing? Shan Wuyan gives Xiao Nan a technique and says this is for you. Xiao Nan gets a little surprised. But Shan Wuyan blushes and she says, I watched your performance in the previous arena match as well, you did quite well. This technique suits you. Xiao Nan looks at the technique and he says, Sword Codex? Such a domineering name. As soon as he opens the book, a dangerous aura starts coming out of the book. And when Xiao Nan feels this, he gets very shocked. But he thinks, these layered, overlapping sword shadows, is this the contents of the sword codex? Incredible! Senior sister. Don't tell me this is one of the few Earth-grade techniques on the first floor of the Sutra Pavilion? Shan Wuyen says, make sure no one else learns of this technique. I've already cast a bit of illusion magic on it, so it should allow you to leave the pavilion safely. Xiao Nan thanks Shan Wuyen, and he starts taking the technique with him, and he thinks, Iceberg's senior sister went out of her way to cast an illusion on this technique. There's no way this is something an ordinary person could get their hands on. I'm guessing. At the very least, it's Earth grade or higher. But why is she helping me? Wait a second. Do I have some kind of hidden buff? Like an innate eating soft rice body? One that automatically attracts women to help me? Xiao Nan looks ahead and sees Jibo Meiyong in front of him. Besides, Jibo Meiyong is surrounded by many disciples. And those disciples say, as expected of senior brother Jibo. Not only is his talent unmatched, but even his luck far surpasses others. That's right, out of the few Earth-grade techniques available, senior brother Jibo just happened to stumble upon one. Senior brother Jibo, you've got to look after us more in the future. Jibo Meiyong says, an Earth-grade Loter technique. I guess I can barely make do with it. I didn't come across a heaven-grade one though, what a shame. The instructor says, Jiao Yang Mystic Art. Not bad. It's been quite some time since this old man has seen a prodigy encounter an Earth-grade technique on the first or second floor of the Sutra Pavilion. Work hard. And you, what technique did you choose? Come, bring it here and let me have a look. Xiao Nan thinks, Iceberg's senior sister said she cast an illusion, but is it really reliable? If I get found out, am I doomed? Then he shows the technique book to the instructor. And the instructor says to him, Doufing Sword Art. A mid-grade Huang-grade technique. Ah, this old man must have misjudged you. I didn't expect you to be such a practical and grounded person. Xiao Nan is surprised and thinks, how did he change his attitude so fast? And the disciple says, choosing a technique always comes down to fate. But man, third stage Xiao is seriously out of luck. A mid-tier Huang-grade? Ha ha. Even if my grandma came here blindfolded, she wouldn't pick something that low, she would have at least picked a high-tier Huang-grade. Looks like third stage Zhao's luck has officially run out. The system says, you've been mentally ridiculed, soul +5. Xiao Nan says, I believe that the quality of a martial art is not about its level. What is more important is whether it matches your own cultivation and suits your heart. And he thinks, go on, mock me all you want, don't hold back your opinions of me. The instructor says this old man has seen countless disciples fighting tooth and nail just to grab a high-grade technique. Never did I expect that the sword sect still had someone as practical as you. Excellent, truly excellent. Even though your talent is low, your comprehension is poor, and your cultivation is weak, it will be rewarding, as long as you train diligently. This old man believes in you. After listening to the instructor's words, an arrow pierces Xiao Nan's heart. But he thanks the instructor. And he takes back his technique and says, phew, it was a close call and I managed to get through it without any problem. At night, Xiao Nan is sitting in his form trying to understand the technique, and he says, the sword codex consists of 9 forms in total. The first form, flame soars like a swan, requires at least 7th grade meridians. The second form, waves crash and surge, requires 6th grade and so on, increasing with each level. Right now, my physique has just barely reached the threshold to begin learning the first move. Even with a 1st grade physique, I can only cultivate up to the 7th form. I'm afraid there are barely a handful of people in the entire sword sect who can practice the later forms. Luckily I have this curse system, hee. Practicing this sword codex is extremely easy. The system says, the host passively comprehends the first form of the sword codex comprehension +1. Yu Bingyun is secretly keeping an eye on Xiao Nan with a crystal ball, and she says, been busy all day. I wonder what technique that kid ended up choosing in the Sutra Pavilion. He's already started cultivating? Wait, that's the sword codex? Good. Well played, Dan Wuyen. To stoop to such tricks and just to get ahead, you didn't hesitate to destroy someone else's path. That kid is still only in the spirit realm. Forcing cultivation now will only plant a heart demon. No, I should immediately stop him from cultivating further. After seeing his grown state, Xiao Nan thinks, first form mastered, and I even broke through to stage 6. Guess this sword codex isn't as hard to learn as I thought. Still, my physique is starting to feel a bit lacking. I might as well head to the Yenyu Gangfeng Cavern to improve myself further, and test the strength of my technique while I'm at it. Perfect. There aren't many people around right now, just right for me to continue cultivating in peace. Behind him we see Yu Bingyun, who has come here following Xiao Nan, and she is hiding and watching Xiao Nan, and she says, I was just about to go look for that brat when I saw him sneaking off. What's he doing heading into the poison pit? Brother Taijin, that kid ran off to the secret realm alone. And we see some people who have come to the place where Xiao Nan was earlier. And Yu Bingyun sees them too, and she hides. And one of those men says he dared to lay a hand on Tai Xiong. Xiao Nan, is it? I swear, I'll make you regret ever crossing the Tai clan. And they too go inside. And seeing this, Yu Bingyun thinks Taijin, a disciple of the Sword Sect, at the 3rd level of Qi training. Xiao Nan really hit a wall this time. Then we see Xiao Nan, who is moving forward, and he says, how about I go and dig out the strange rock first? Forget it. I still can't handle that strange stone for now. Sound of footsteps? Did someone follow me? I need to leave this place first. And we see those people who are following Xiao Nan. And both of Taijin's friends say, brother, this kid went deep into the secret realm, where the fire poison is not something that ordinary people can withstand. Should we just? Taijin says, I'll go and block him first, then you guys can rush there. Sky Rock 5th form. Soaring crane unfurls. And he quickly starts following Xiao Nan, and he reaches a place, and he says, strange, that kid's aura disappeared here. Maybe he's hiding? Just then Xiao Nan comes behind him and attacks him with his sword. Taijin reacts quickly and dodges Xiao Nan's attack and says, Xiao Nan! You shameless bastard! You injured my brother and now you dare to attack me? And he distances himself from Xiao Nan. Xiao Nan says to him, injured your brother? You are Tai Xiong's brother? Taijin says, if you dare to go against my Tai clan, I will let you know how tragic the consequences will be. Sky Rock 5th form. Iron Eagle Claw. Xiao Nan gets shocked and barely blocks Taijin's attack with his sword and thinks, crap, he's a cultivator in the Qi condensation realm. Taijin attacks again and says, are you regretting it now, brat? Too bad, because it's too late now. Xiao Nan falls on the ground due to Taijin's attack and his sword breaks. But his damage taken, endurance increases. And Xiao Nan thinks, the gap in our cultivation realm is too big, I am no match for him. I do have some regrets. Regret for not killing him immediately. Taijin is saying, you are still stubborn even when you are about to die. I will torture you severely. I will return to you the pain my brother felt 10-fold and 100-fold. Xiao Nan thinks, very good, get angrier. The angrier you are, the more you want revenge and the less you will let your opponent go easily. As long as it's not a one-hit kill move, everything will be fine. Taijin says, hey. Did you listen to everything I said? Taijin again moves toward Xiao Nan to attack him and says to him, you pretentious bastard, I will soon let you know what cruelty is. Iron Eagle Claw, and he hits Xiao Nan. But Xiao Nan controls himself. And because of the system his damage endurance increases by plus 37. And he thinks, phew, as expected, an experienced baby was delivered to my door. And he signals Taijin to attack him again. Due to which Taijin gets very angry, and in anger he again moves forward to attack Xiao Nan. And he again hits Xiao Nan. And Xiao Nan's damage physics increases by plus 58. And Taijin does not stop here, he again attacks Xiao Nan and kicks him on his chest, due to which Xiao Nan falls on the ground. And then Taijin's friends come there, and one of them says, have you finished dealing with this kid? You are worthy of being the big brother. But then Xiao Nan tries to stand up again. And seeing this Taijin gets surprised. And Xiao Nan says to him, are you tired after playing for such a while? Aren't you a little weak? Taijin is surprised and he thinks, every strike of mine has at least thousands of pounds of force, yet he only suffered minor injuries. Isn't he a bit too tough? This guy is simply a natural punching bag. Another friend of his says, bro, this guy can take a beating. I'll use a formation to weaken him first. And his partner throws the card towards Xiao Nan, due to which a formation is formed around Xiao Nan and he gets trapped. And because of the system, his cultivation, energy, endurance all increase by plus 200%. And Xiao Nan thinks, wow, this is the rhythm of helping me to max out the buff. Taijin says, are you starting to get scared, you useless guy who can only get beaten? But Xiao Nan breaks the formation very easily and he says, that's right, we should end this now. Also he thinks, thanks to this formation, I have abundant spiritual energy at this moment. My cultivation level is even close to the 9th level of spiritual power. I'll use this to test the power of the sword codex given by Iceberg's senior sister. Then Xiao Nan calls his sword and his sword comes in his hand. Xiao Nan is now about to use the first form of the sword codex, and he uses it. And sensing her power, Taijin starts retreating and he says, this kid, there's something not right. But now it's too late, Xiao Nan has used his skill. And sensing her power, Taijin thinks, the power of this sword exceeds all the sword styles I have ever seen. How is this possible? The 3rd level of chi training actually lost to a weakling. Xiao Nan's sword attack hits Taijin, due to which his body gets divided into 2 parts and he dies. As soon as his companions see this, they start running very fast. And Xiao Nan says to them, how is it? Do you want to try? But both of them get very scared and run away from here to save their lives. But Xiao Nan has used his full power, due to which his body becomes weak and he bends down on his knees. And he thinks, what kind of background does senior sister Iceberg have? The technique she gave is simply deadly. Even though I have already strengthened my body, the first move almost drained me. I might end up perishing in this poisonous pit. Before Xiao Nan becomes unconscious, Yu Bingyun holds him, and she starts looking at Xiao Nan and she says, although it's just one move, I didn't expect this kid to actually learn the sword codex of Dan Wuyan. Fortunately, I followed him today, otherwise that brat would probably be facing life and death right now. Precious baby, if you can comprehend the sword codex, then it shouldn't be a problem for me to pass on my Starfire refining chi's secret technique to you. Then the scene shifts. Xiao Nan opens his eyes and then Yu Bingyun comes in front of him and says to him, are you awake? Xiao Nan is surprised to see Yu Bingyun in front of him, but he says, senior sister? Was it you who saved me? Yu Bingyun says, that's right, if I hadn't happened to pass by, you would have died in that fire-poison gale wind. Xiao Nan thanks Yu Bingyun. But Yu Bingyun starts climbing on Xiao Nan and says to him, junior brother, why did you go to such a dangerous secret place so late at night? What treasure were you trying to find? Xiao Nan gets a little nervous and says, haha, there isn't any treasure, I was just testing out a technique. I found a doffing sword art book in the Sutra Pavilion not long ago. Yu Bingyun thinks, this guy is quite tight-lipped. And she says, the doffing sword art is just a very basic elementary technique. Senior sister has a book with even better technique. If senior brother is interested, then I can. But Xiao Nan pushes Yu Bingyun and says to her, I'm not interested. Yu Bingyun gets surprised and she says, why doesn't this kid play by the rules? Wouldn't you normally ask what kind of technique it is? So Xiao Nan says, I still understand the principle of not receiving rewards without merit, but senior sister has conditions, right? And the video ends here. But its next part will come very soon. But you will have to wait. But the more you like and yes, but don't forget to comment and subscribe on this video, the sooner I will upload its new part on my channel, so see you in its next part. So till then I am bye. And thank you for watching this video.